Hey guys, assalamu alaikum. I hope you're doing great, inshallah. Uh, I was wondering, I have been keep and I keep posting videos about technology, which is not the only part of my life. I do love to read books from time to time if I'm not that much busy with projects and clients. So I'll admit I used to read a lot before I started my small company, but then after the MBA and then the company itself, I I barely get enough time, but when I do, I really enjoy. And the book that I'm reading right now is this one, The Power of Now. Uh, and I'm not used to reading spiritual books, to be very honest. I after going half through it, I'll admit I found out that okay, I have been a very practical guy most of my life, which has been serving me very good. But I think it's time that I should focus on spirituality as well. And yeah, so I have been going through this book very quickly. I'm going to share my review so far. I haven't finished it yet, but uh, guys, like this is like if you haven't been spiritual before, like me, like I have been very practical. I take things very logically, and my God bless my wife, she has been tolerating me for so long. Alhamdulillah. I do like being logical. I don't mean that I'm not emotional. I do get into the emotional side as well. I do understand the emotional aspect, but when I say being spiritual, I mean thinking outside your mind. And I'm saying this because that's exactly what the book and this amazing author whose name is difficult to just like his book. His name is Eckhart Tolle. I hope I'm pronouncing it correctly. He is right now in Canada, and and I'll tell you why this book has been difficult. One of the many reasons it has been difficult is because it asks you a very difficult question. It asks you to do something very difficult, which is for me, which I'm not being used to, which is to disassociate yourself from your mind. And what the author pleads is that you don't have to, or you what it's a fact actually what he mentions, according to him, that your mind is just a tool. But the problem is a lot of us are associating ourselves with the mind. We're letting the mind control our lives, and eventually what happens is that we think that we are the mind, and there is no soul. So he doesn't say soul that often, but if it helps, yeah, you can use soul. And being a Muslim, I do believe that okay, there is a soul, but I never had a chance to look into it or study more about it. And and this book really helped me at least understand that your mind is basically just a tool, and you have to use this tool to survive in this world. But you cannot let it control your life. Similarly, your emotional being, your emotional reactions. Okay, that part I'm not that much familiar with yet because I didn't understand it that much. But I'll tell you what I understood till now. So your emotional being is your emotions are actually reactions, okay, through your mind, and and your fears are created by your mind, and the fears are usually related to future, and your and anxiety, sadness typically comes from the past. And I know I'm mixing all this, but what I really liked in the book is a clear distinction, like with proof, I would say, that when you're thinking about the past, you are actually getting away from the present. Okay, you're getting away from the now. Okay, and this is and that's what the all yani what it is all about, the power of now. That you have to acknowledge now. You have to be present and forget about the past and forget or try to forget about the future. Now, for me personally, it's okay. I do agree logically that okay, you don't have to think about the past that much. Uh, if it's serving you a purpose, let's say if you want to learn from the past, that's another story. But a lot of time, what happens is that, and I'm sure you will agree with me that we think of a past moment which was, let's say, it was not that happy moment, and it brings sadness when you think about it. So we at that moment, we're letting our mind going to the past. Okay, we're letting our mind control uh, ourselves. So we have to acknowledge this. We have to be aware of uh, of our mind playing this game with us. And you might ask, why do we go dwells in the past? Like, why do we think about the past? To be very honest, I don't know right now. Maybe I read it, but I forgot. But yeah, the mind does take you to the past, and it does take you to the future. And when do you go to the future? When you're worried about something. Like for example, right now I'm working on a project, and not just one, but this one project, typical project, is bringing me anxiety, and because due to many reasons. Okay, so your mind will keep asking you like, will we meet the deadlines? What if we didn't meet the deadlines? Even if everything is going normally, but it will keep thinking about the future because that's how it's it's the purpose of the mind. So you can keep thinking to avoid so you can come up with solutions. It's a problem solving machine, your mind. Okay. So even if there is no problem, okay, this part I really loved it in the book. So even if there is no problem in your life, your mind will find problems. Yani. It was funny as well. So it's like the mind thinks that okay, I need a purpose. I need something to solve. So even if there is no problem in your life, it will start creating problems. And I find it funny because I know people in my life who, when I see them, I don't see that they have any problems. According to me, like, and maybe I'm being very selfish because sometimes we do feel that okay, our problems are real problems, and others, okay, they're not problems. They're just they can live with. They should live with with those problems. And I find it funny. Uh, so yeah, you might know someone in your circle or your friends or your relatives where you see that okay, these are not problems, okay, and they're just thinking okay, these are problems, and it's because it might be. No, I'm not sure, but it might be because they their mind actually thinks that okay, we don't have any problems, but these are problems. These are real problems because the mind is a problem solving machine. Maybe I'm repeating myself. I'm sorry. But yeah, so what I'm having trouble understanding a lot of stuff in this book the author keeps saying that okay, a lot of problems in our world are due to uh our craving and wanting. Like for example, uh this passage which I really liked, and the heading is what are they craving, and it's about Carl Jung, and he mentions in one of his books of a conversation he had with a Native American chief who pointed out to him that in his perception, most white people have tense faces, staring eyes, and cruel demeanor. And he added that they're always seeking something. What are they seeking? The white always wants something They're always uneasy and restless. We don't know what they want. We think they're mad. Okay, so this is a Native American chief, and he's speaking with Carl Jung, who's probably is a white person. I'm not sure who he is, and this really touched me because in my head, I'm very much influenced by the American or the Western culture, uh, which is also famous for not being that spiritual. And I'm thinking that maybe the reason why I am tense most of the time is because I keep craving for more. It can be anything. It's not. It doesn't have to be materialistic things. It can be craving for more productivity, craving for more, let's say, growth, more knowledge. It could be anything. And I'm just reading right now. I'm not. It doesn't mean that I agree with all of this. You might agree. And the reason I'm making this video up is because I really want to hear from my network. I want to hear from you. What are your thoughts on it? Like, for example, here there are a few passages. Like, I'll start from here. Like, the undercurrent of constant unease started long before the rise of Western industrial civilization, of course, but in Western civilization, which now covers almost the entire globe, including most of the East, it manifests in an okay, it's difficult to pronounce, in an unprecedentedly acute form. Okay, it was already there at the time of Jesus, and it was there 600 years before that, at the time of Buddha, and long before that. Why are you always anxious? Jesus asked his disciples. Can anxious thought add a single day to your life? And the Buddha taught that the root of suffering is to be found in our constant wanting and craving. Now, this part is, for me, to be very honest, I don't know if I should disagree with it or not, but it's difficult for me to really grasp this idea. Like, our economies, our career paths, everything we do in this dunya, in this world, is constantly based on growth, right? Like, at least I have been taught all my life that okay, have to keep growing, and which means keep wanting for more, right? And yeah, I have to enjoy these states, man. These are amazing. So I'm having like trouble understanding this point. Like, what's wrong if you want more? And what I sense till this page is that the author is trying to say that you don't. I don't know, like, but this is what I understand. This is what I sense from the book, that I don't have to want more. I don't want to have to crave more. And then it it scares me, to be very honest. Like, if I just be content with whatever I want, whatever I have, right? So being content, saying Alhamdulillah, being grateful is something else. Okay, but I really disagree with just sitting and not doing anything or not growing. I don't know. Like, I find it difficult to to agree. Like I, honestly, like I will be like, what should I do? Like, what will I do if I don't work? If I don't grow? Like, okay, I know that okay, whatever I have, like a lot of people, whatever they have, it's enough. So they should just enjoy their life. I know enjoyment is necessary, but we need to have purpose, right? We need to have to do something. We need to care about something in life. But this lines really troubles me. Like are all the sufferings linked to constant wanting and craving? Like, I know, I don't know. Or maybe it's okay to want, but not to associate yourself with it. Okay, you craved for something, uh, you tried, it became your purpose in life, but you don't identify yourself with it. But that's also difficult because eventually the society and everyone will associate you with that. But maybe deep down inside, you we just say that okay, we're just doing our best, and and we don't bring unhappiness by if we did not achieve what we wanted. But again, Yani, being on that side, let's say for example, if you, let me give you an example. If there's a student who wants to pass the subject and passing marks are 50, and the teacher comes and tells him, okay, all right, you just have to pass. Okay, passing is easy, right? You can pass. And now he set his target to getting 50 marks out of 100. And and it happens right in life that okay, he set the target too low, which is 50, and he didn't pass because he gained 40 or 30. But if the teacher comes in and tells him that even though the passing marks are 50, I'm not gonna accept your marks if they're not at least 80. At this moment, the student will of course freak out and will at least he will his target will be 80, but he will at least achieve 60 or 70, right? Which is still good, better than 50. So it's a whole mindset game, but this mindset game does bring unhappiness, right? That stress of whether I should get 80, like should I be able to get 80 or not? So I feel that this is healthy stress. But this person, and with all due respect, I feel like I'm afraid that after reading this, I might become so calm, so chill. All right, it's okay if we did not achieve the deadline for that project. In the end, dunya is temporary. We have to leave this world. But but yeah, what do you think about it? Like I don't know, man. Like I really live by this. I don't know if you want to call it a term, but I really live by this. Like aim for stars so you can land on the moon. So we should aim higher, right, in life. And what this book is telling me on my face that okay, your whatever you have been thinking is wrong. Like it's bringing you unhappiness. So khalas, yani, whatever my dad left for me, I should just stop working and khalas chill and enjoy with friends, enjoy life, and just be in the present moment. And being in the present moment is so difficult. Like, all right, so I thank you. It does help me that okay, I should not let my mind make me crazy. I should not keep just. I should have time in my daily schedule where I should be present, just being aware, and that's what I'm interested in. Okay, so I can have more happiness in my life, but not wanting to grow, like it would be very boring. Like it would be a boring life. Like how come you can live a life where you don't want to grow and you don't want more and more and more, right? Of course, that should not. That I believe balance is crucial, and that's why I feel I'm not being uh very any and because it's my religion I'm selling it to you. No, it's I'm not being that guy, but what I find in Islam, this is or through different scholars, where they keep teaching us that you have to have a balance in life. You cannot be that spiritual and forget about life, and you cannot be that materialistic and forget about spirituality. So you have to be balanced, and which is difficult. It's not an easy job to do, and there will be time that you will be so materialistic, and then you have to pull yourself back, and go towards the spiritual side, so you can come to the middle. So that's what I've really found. I really find beautiful about Islam. Uh, this person is يعني يعني till يعني I haven't finished the book yet. I'm gonna finish it and we'll try to make another video. But this person is being very extreme when it comes to spirituality. يعني how come? Like imagine if we never had this paper, okay? If we never had this paper was invented right by experiment with people like who wanted to have more. All right, they experimented and they brought this paper, and then this paper wouldn't be commercialized if the industry was not there. All right, so now there is industry, and since we have this paper now, you're able to publish this book and and bring your idea, or let's say show your ideas to millions of people out there because the paper was there, all right? And now this book might all I'm sure it has an online version as well. So if we hadn't have technology, and this is my industry, all right? So if we didn't have technology and all that digital world, like people wouldn't be able to find your PDF, okay? And yeah, and imagine the guy who invented the web just thinking, I don't need to do this. Like, I don't want to do this. I should be chill. Why the world needs to move? We're fine. And if everybody thinks like that, and just being in the present, like okay, just being. First of all, I don't even get the idea right now till now. But just like, how can you be present all the time? Okay, maybe some portions of your time, but that's fine. But being present all the time, not thinking about the future, uh, and not learning from your past. I don't know how can some people do that all the time. I think it's impossible. And being and having a balance of both uh, is crucial. Like being in the present. All right. So part of my day is being in the present, where I should not care about the future and the past. Okay. Thank you. I thank this author for that. But doing that all the time, no, man, it's not possible. And this is what exactly the author is saying, that we should strive to be present all the time. I completely disagree with that. Now, coming back to my what I was saying is that imagine everybody says that okay, let's be present all the time. We don't need to innovate. Why we need to innovate? Why we need to grow? Then, yani imagine we would be still in the jungles, right? Or in the deserts, or in the mountains, and okay, this statement where the author says this collective dysfunction has created a very unhappy and extraordinarily violent civilization that has become a threat not only to itself but also to all life on the planet. Okay, now this is what I call extreme, 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 extreme. Like it's too extreme. Like this is not the only reason. Like that like wanting for more, this is not the only reason. I know that okay, there are greedy people out there that keep. There is a point you can have all the material in life, but then all right, then moving above that, it's not serving you any purpose. Okay, I do understand that there are greedy people, there are bad people who are causing trouble to the planet, to the world. All right, but craving for more knowledge, I don't find anything wrong with that. Okay, craving for more, let's say, craving for to help more, like you want to help more and more people, I don't find any problem with that. Craving for, let's say, getting more projects so you can help those businesses or companies with your services, and I don't find any problem with that. Like how come you can find any problem with that? Like craving for more advancement in science and technology, for craving for having creating better art, like craving for, let's say, having better medicine, like we have diseases every year. Like should we just stop and just to sit there like that's it and let people die? And okay, I'm sure okay it's not fun, it's okay, people die. I do understand. Okay, we have to leave this world and get to the next one. All right, but we have to keep ourselves busy with something, right? We have like some time to live in this dunya, and of course, we need to think. And the author actually doesn't talk about afterlife at all. Maybe he will after maybe in the next chapters, but till now I don't see that he talks about afterlife at all. So I don't understand like why you. Or, okay, I will talk about that later. Okay, but yeah, being spiritual means, and what I think is, and I'm very new to this, to be very honest. And the practical side of being spiritual, I know the concepts. Like I'm being very arrogant. Like I know some concepts. I wouldn't say I know all the concepts, but what I understand is that being being spiritual, you're acknowledging that you are in itself, like you have a soul which is in your body, and the mind is just a tool, and the soul itself is, it might not be, it's more than it's bigger than the mind, right? And it has it has like okay, now this also troubles me a little bit. Like, okay, if the mind is there for thinking, then what is the soul, like what does the soul do? Yani if let's say once we leave this body, uh and the thinking is all what we know, that okay, what we make makes us different from other beings, right? And if the mind is only responsible for thinking, then what does the soul do? Like the soul has its own thinking, or does it operate in a different dimension, and we're so much dissociated with that right now, and we're associating the mind with the we're just associated with the mind right now. So yeah, so that's another question I have in my head. Like if the mind is there just to think, then what does the soul do? Like, does it just feel, or what is? And I do, and I believe that okay, we were put in this dunya. So this body is just a vehicle. So we were put on this earth by the Almighty, by Allah, and we're gonna leave this dunya, and the soul will depart. But like makes me like it is difficult for me to understand that the brain is only there to think. Maybe the soul also thinks, or maybe it's not called thinking. It's called something else. I don't know. But yeah, but it's interesting book. And I do recommend reading this one. It made me ask a lot of questions. I'm gonna make maybe another video on this once I finish, or maybe if I find something else to complain about. But all right, yeah. Thank you for listening to my complaints and my troubles and my comments. And I hope you, if you didn't find it useful, I hope you find it entertaining. All right. See you next time.